You were never designed to raise a child by yourself. Nobody was. Not once. In 2 million years. And this isn't a feelings problem. It's arithmetic. A chimpanzee mother has a baby. She nurses it for about 5 years. When she stops, that child can find its own food. Only then does she have the next one dependent at a time. That is the rule for almost every mammal on Earth. A human mother stops nursing at 2 or 3, but a human 3-year-old cannot feed itself. It can't dig, it can't hunt, it can't crack anything open. It stays helpless for another 10 years. And she has the next baby anyway. There's a reason that child stays useless so long. It's growing a brain that burns a quarter of the body's energy while it's being built. That brain is the whole point of us. It's also the most expensive thing in nature to raise. So she ends up holding a toddler who can't eat without her, and a newborn who can't do anything at all. Sometimes 3 of them, sometimes 4, stacked on top of each other. That stacking is why there are 8 billion of us, and roughly 200,000 chimpanzees left in the wild. We reproduced faster than any ape ever has. Except there's a problem with it. A woman foraging on her own cannot bring back enough food to cover a queue of children like that. Researchers have run the calories. The numbers don't close. They have never closed. Not for one single generation, which means somebody else was always paying. For 2 million years, somebody else has been paying the difference. And the identity of that person is the most overlooked fact in human history. The answer turned up in Tanzania. Anthropologists spent years following the Hadza, one of the last groups on Earth still living mostly on wild food. They wanted to know who fed whom. They measured it. Hours out, calories back, who ate the result? They expected the hunters to matter most. Meat is dramatic. Meat is what every documentary films. The hardest working foragers in camp were the old women. Women past childbearing age were out longer than anyone. They dug deep roots buried under packed ground, work that takes real strength and real patience, and a child can't do it. Then they brought it back and fed it to their daughter's children. Then came the detail that changed everything. When a mother had a new baby, her older child's growth stopped tracking her work. It started tracking the grandmothers. Now think about what menopause actually is. Almost nothing on this planet does it. Humans do, killer whales do, the list barely goes further. An animal that can no longer reproduce should be finished. Evolutionarily speaking, useless, gone. Unless stopping is the assignment, a woman who stops having her own children can pour everything she has into the children who already exist. And because she's feeding them, her daughter can have the next baby sooner. Menopause isn't a shutdown, it's a handover. But run the calories one more time, and even she isn't enough. One extra pair of hands against 4 stacked dependents still leaves a gap. There was more support than that, and you can see it in the first hour of a human life. A chimpanzee mother will not let anyone touch her newborn. Not for weeks. Not her sister, not her own mother. A hand that reaches for that infant gets screamed at. A human mother hands her baby to someone else within hours, sometimes within minutes. To her mother, her sister, a midwife, a friend, occasionally to a woman she barely knows. And it feels completely normal to us. It is not normal. It is the strangest thing our species does. Because it means a human baby was never one woman's project. It was the group's. Aunts and older sisters carried infants around camp. Women nursed other people's babies, which sounds shocking now, and was ordinary then. Older children minded younger ones. Men brought back food for children that weren't theirs. There's a name for it. Cooperative breeding. Only a handful of species run it, and we are the only ape on the list. And here's the part that should unsettle you a little. The baby evolved for it. A human infant is fat, round, loud when it's put down, and starts smiling at faces at about 6 weeks old. A chimp infant doesn't need to charm anybody. It's clamped to one body, and that body is not going anywhere. A human infant had to appeal to people who were not its mother, because it survived on people who were not its mother. A human baby isn't born looking for a mother, it's born auditioning for a group. So the whole design, the stacked children, the retired grandmother, the fat charming infant, all of it assumes a crowd is standing there. Which leaves one obvious question. What happens to a species built like that when the crowd goes away? Nobody ever decided to remove it. It came apart slowly. People moved for work. Families got smaller. Houses got private. Each step looked like progress, and each step quietly took one more pair of hands out of the room. Look at how a child actually gets raised now. One adult, two if you're lucky. The grandmother is in another city, or still working her own job, or exhausted. The aunts live in other countries. Nobody nurses anyone else's baby anymore. The older siblings are at school all day. Every role that ancient system filled for free is now either missing or has a price tag on it. Childcare is a bill. Help is a favor you have to ask for and feel guilty about. The village didn't vanish. It got invoiced. Two people are being asked to do the work of a group that never had fewer than a dozen in it. So when somebody today says they can't afford a child, listen to what's actually being said. That isn't a lack of desire. It's an estimate. And the estimate is accurate, because the ancient question was never, do I want a baby? Foraging humans wanted babies badly. The question their situation forced on them was simpler and colder. Will anyone help me? A child born without support died. A woman who tried it alone often lost the child, and sometimes lost herself. So humans got extremely good at sensing whether the help was really there before committing to it. That sensing is still running in your head right now. Whenever a person pictures having a child, some quiet part of them counts the network. Who shows up? Who takes the night shift? Who answers the phone at 3 in the morning without being asked twice? For most people in a modern city, that count comes back short. Not zero, just short. And short is enough in the old system to say, wait. We usually describe falling birth rates as people losing something. Instinct, values, seriousness about the future. It looks more like the opposite. The instinct is intact and doing its job perfectly. It's answering an old question honestly, and the honest answer right now is not yet. Researchers point to many causes for this, and this is one lens among several, rather than the whole picture. But it's the one nobody says out loud. The grandmother who kept working past 60, the aunt who took the baby for an afternoon, the neighbor who fed someone else's child without being asked. Those were never kindnesses. They were load-bearing. Take them out and the structure doesn't bend. It just quietly stops getting built. So we didn't turn into a species that wants fewer children. We turned into a species that misplaced the people who made children possible, and then wondered why the parents looked so tired. If having a child has ever looked impossibly heavy to you, you're not weak and you're not selfish. You're doing the math correctly on a weight that was designed for 12 pairs of hands. Humans never raised children alone. We only recently started trying.